All right, Representative Sundin, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So you come from the pretty small town of Esko, maybe best known as one of the cities when you're making the drive up to Duluth that you see kind of on the way. Tell us about your district and tell us about your city. What's it like there?
Esko is somewhat of a bedroom community, and a lot of the people that reside there work in Duluth or the Cloquet area, and it's a very, very peaceful township. And while I was living there, they've actually passed the first legal liquor sales in Thompson Township. I sent my wife down to the liquor store. I says, buy the first bottle. So I've got a bottle of bourbon that I will donate probably to the local fire department, volunteer fire department, or another organization as a fundraiser. It's the first legal sale of liquor. So I really enjoy living there. It's somewhat of a country living in right next to the metro area. So.
And 2020 will be your 8th year serving here in St. Paul.
Yeah.
How have the priorities changed for your constituents over those years, or what have you heard from your constituents that they would like to see accomplished this coming session?
One of the biggest issues in the 11A district is the broadband issue. To reach those that last mile out there, there's people that really want to do business from their homes out in the rural areas, and we've completely underfunded those expansions. Fortunately, we have the Fond du Lac Band of Ojibwe that's included in the district, and they've invested heavily into their fiber optic network, and they've got better broadband, better connectivity than most of the state because they chose to invest.
And you've been active with the Painters Local Union for 4 decades, roughly 4 decades.
Roughly 4 decades. I retired 2 months ago now.
Oh, okay.
In October, and I'm suited for it.
And you also chair the House Labor Committee.
Yes, very proud to say that.
And so what do you expect the committee to work on in 2020?
The Labor Committee has got a few measures before it. I think it's going to be, we're going to wrap that committee up fairly quickly. I've got some railroad bills that I'd like to get through, railroad safety bills that will address there, and I haven't heard a lot of policy coming through this year.
I was reading one of your recent legislative updates, and you mentioned you were part of a discussion, it sounds like, about the proposed Northern Lights Express passenger train.
Sure.
That would connect the northeastern part of the state and the Twin Cities. What are your thoughts on that potential project, and what kind of effect would it have on your area and district?
I can see where it could be an advantage for anybody doing business down in Twin Cities on a regular basis to get in the habit of getting on that train in the Duluth area, and then do some business on the way down, do some business on the way back if you're going down. But I can also see that rail service benefiting students from the metro area, because a good portion of the population up at the University of Minnesota Duluth, they hail from the metro area, and it would be convenient for them to do so.
I want to ask you about this too. Your district's part of Greater Minnesota, and we've all seen op-eds written or people speak about a perceived divide between Twin Cities, metropolitan area, and Greater Minnesota. Do you believe there is such a divide? And if so, how can we become that one Minnesota that Governor Walz has talked about?
I don't know if it's a divide. There's fissures in that respect. Metro money spending in the metro area versus out in the Greater Minnesota. The broadband issue is a very good example. There's a heavy influx of heavy investment on the broadband connectivity down in the metro area just prior to the Super Bowl. It was important for business, and I understand that, but we've got businesses that would like to operate remotely out in Greater Minnesota as well. Another thing is some of the metro legislators, people have different perceptions of what goes on with some of the industries up in northern Minnesota. You know, we've been doing safe mining for over 100 years. We've got a forest industry products industry that's developing new products all the time, and we're relying on that. And we need to continue to have proper stewardship of the natural resources, but we have to keep those industries going. They keep towns like Cloquet, International Falls, Grand Rapids alive.
You know, I read somewhere that you had a hobby of restoring vintage snowmobiles. I mean, I don't know if you still do that now, but can you talk a little bit about that?
I'm down to one. I reluctantly sold a couple of my choice machines to a friend and to a good home, let's put it that way. I wasn't going to put it on Craigslist
Right.
and put it out there. A good friend that I worked with for a number of years wanted one, and then he saw the other one, and he said, oh, I've got to have this. I've had up to 7 snowmobiles up in my front yard, and a wife asking me why. But I certainly enjoy seeing those old machines run. I'm down to one very special machine now. It's called Diablo Rouge. It's a 2-piece machine. It's very unique.